This is why we cannot stop by establishing only one Christian school in Nicaragua. With God's help and the people of God, New Hope plans to continue building schools, and more importantly, to continue discipling children to our Lord Jesus Christ. For this is Nicaragua's only hope. The Lord willing, the end of December, with the Lord's help and the gifts from those who believe in the vision and ministry of New Hope, this school made of pallets with a dirt floor in one of the poorest areas of Managua will be replaced with a brand new school facility that will take care of 600 children. No longer will the poor children of this community have to wade through mud and sit in seats that are ready to fall apart. And above all, each day, all of these 600 children will learn more about Christ and the Bible, which will in turn enable New Hope to reach their families for Jesus Christ. Within a stone's throw of this school, New Hope and White Dove are currently operating a care center which feeds some 600 children 5 days a week. By God's grace, New Hope will keep building new schools and impacting the children of Nicaragua for Christ as long as we have the strength and the resources. No, we realize a generation doesn't change overnight, but we have a vision, and we believe the Lord has given us the plan for the saving of a generation. Yes, it has begun. And with God's help and all of us working together, it cannot falter. It must not fail. It must not only continue, it must expand to reach many more thousands of children who are now living without hope in Nicaragua. Not only does New Hope have a school that's reaching hundreds of children and young people for our Lord Jesus Christ, but New Hope Gross Nickel Center has become a springboard for taking the gospel to much of the nation. In July, the first crusade was held in New Hope Auditorium. This in itself was phenomenal, being able to share the gospel with so many people in the crusade who attended the services. But even more exciting, through Radio Andalus, we were able to broadcast live to the nation. Only God knows how many thousands of lives were touched or changed as the gospel went forth in New Hope's auditorium as well as across the nation. This past year, the Lord blessed New Hope over and over by making it possible to dramatically expand our feeding outreach to hungry children. If this wasn't a miracle, it was very close to it. New Hope is so blessed to have Don Fields and Kids Against Hunger, providing New Hope with more meals to feed hungry children in Nicaragua than we ever thought was possible. Each week, New Hope provides the gospel and meals to tens of thousands of children across Nicaragua. By the end of 2007, New Hope should exceed over 20,000 children a week. We're believing that during 2008, New Hope will have the opportunity to feed over 1 million meals to hungry children here in Nicaragua. As wonderful as that is, the best news is we're not just meeting the physical needs of many children here, we're also seeing many of them give their lives to Jesus Christ. For when the food is all gone, what these children are receiving will last for an eternity. This year, because of Hurricane Felix, New Hope has been especially busy. Then add to this 47 days of continuous rain and you have two major disasters. This was New Hope's first encounter with a need of this magnitude. In the aftermath of Hurricane Felix, New Hope's team was the first disaster relief team to arrive on the scene in Waspam. We had a special urgency concerning this because the children in our House of Hope orphanage were in the area that Felix hit. Since we have previously traveled up and down the Rio Coca River, we knew well over 100 pastors who were most likely facing life and death situations. So shortly after the winds of Hurricane Felix abated, Leo and Charity and the New Hope team were among the first to reach the remote Mosquito Indian village of Waspam. While the New Hope team was on the ground surveying how we could respond, President Ortega arrived in his helicopter to also survey the situation. His staff had been told that New Hope was there, so he immediately came to Leo and Charity and thanked New Hope for our response to the needs of the Mosquito Indian people. In a few days, with the help of the Venezuelan military, we airlifted 100,000 meals for distribution to remote Mosquito Indian villages. New Hope was the first to bring food to these villages who had not eaten in days. Later, as we continued bringing food to other areas that were not being reached, we found entire villages who had had no food for several weeks. When Joshua Ford heard the news of the loss of life and the conditions the Mosquito Indians were living in because of the hurricane, he knew he had to do something. Over the past few years, he's gone up and down the Rio Coca River in a canoe, working with the New Hope team, and he felt he couldn't stay in Bible school and study when he knew this part of the rainforest of Nicaragua and what needed to be done to help these people in their calamity. So Joshua put his Bible school education on hold, gathered together his personal finances, his friend Tyson, and flew to Nicaragua and then on to the village of Waspam. Through an arrangement with New Hope, Joshua, Tyson, and Leo's brother Danny met with the Nicaraguan military and loaded up the rest of the meals New Hope had available for distribution. Soon they were on their way to remote areas of the rainforest to deliver the food to villages that had been cut off by the hurricane. When the roads became impassable, Joshua, Tyson, and Danny had to unload the truck, and the food had to be carried by hand and by horseback for several hours through the rainforest to reach the villages. After all the food that we had sent there had been distributed, the team provided 3.5 tons of rice. After it was bagged and loaded into a canoe, they headed downriver to deliver it to families who had had no food in several weeks. In village after village, the Mosquito Indians were so thankful to see the food and medicine. Over and over again, they thanked the team for bringing the gift of life to them. No, Joshua and New Hope can't feed every hungry family who lives on the Rio Coca, but with God's help, we will do what we can. In village after village along the Rio Coca River, where they make their homes, Mosquito families have lost everything, including their gardens and other food crops. If seeds were given to these people at this time to replant their gardens, as hungry as they are, they would eat the seed. Some of them are starving and may die unless they receive the necessary food to sustain them. This is why churches and organizations are uniting with New Hope to prepare meals in the U.S. to be shipped and distributed to needy families in Nicaragua. In about 1 hour's time, the ingredients that New Hope Against Hunger provides, 12 people can weigh, measure, package, seal, and pack 1,080 meals into boxes, ready to ship to New Hope in Birmingham, so the meals can be loaded into a container and shipped on to Nicaragua and then distributed to hungry families. This process is so simple that 12 people, young and not so young, can work together in combining the ingredients to produce these meals. Everyone so enjoys doing this hands-on mission works that they do not want to quit preparing meals once they get started. The amazing thing about this is New Hope Against Hunger can ship the ingredients and the simple instructions right to a church or organization anywhere in the U.S. In order to participate, a church needs at least $1,080. This $1,080 covers not only the transportation cost of 2,160 finished meals from Birmingham to Nicaragua, but it takes care of the actual delivery cost of the meals to the villages in Nicaragua where the food is needed. This is a wonderful opportunity for those in our churches to feed the hungry, even though they may never have the opportunity to go to the mission field. If you would like more information concerning this, please contact New Hope, and we'll be glad to share all the life-changing details with you. We would appreciate you agreeing with us in prayer for New Hope's House of Hope Orphanage. At this time, our children are living temporarily in our headquarters in El Crucero. But we're believing God that soon the finances are going to be provided so New Hope will be able to purchase the house and lot that adjoins us so that we will be able to provide a home for some 14 homeless children here in Nicaragua, with the potential to expand for another 20 or 30 children. At this time, New Hope has 7,000 of the necessary 70,000 that's needed to purchase this house and lot. This means New Hope is only $63,000 short from being able to provide a home and love to some of the most unfortunate but precious children in the world. By faith, we took the children over to the house on December the 12th and told them to pick out their bedrooms. I wish you could have been there as they walked into what we believe will soon be their house. There's plenty of room in the backyard to build facilities so that we can take care of more children. Thanks for your prayers concerning this. Let's unite our faith together that these children will have this facility for a home by the time our clocks strike midnight, December 31st. Will you believe with us? We're expecting a miracle.